All right, so you want to make piano melodies. This is music theory for beginners. Today, we're going to open up Labs. It's a free plugin. Try the soft piano. It's really sampled really well and it sounds really cool. Okay, so when we're writing melodies, we want to think about the chord structure underneath. This is what creates the deeper emotion to a melody. Okay, so firstly, I'm just going to show you a couple of chords to think about. We're going to start with the minor ninth chord here at D. And you see this a lot, but we're going to do what's called the chord stamp called a dominant ninth chord. We're going to add that 1/2 step down. And then lastly, we're going to add a major ninth chord thirdly. Okay, so that's the default way to play it, but let's spice this up a little bit by creating an altered chord here. Now we have somewhat of an R&B vibe. Now that's important because that dictates the mood of the melody. So without the chords, you don't have context for your melody. So I have my chords living in the middle, and then we'll have our melody playing an entire octave up. Now the question is, where do you start? Usually I start at the top note of the chord, just up an octave. And then here you're going to use your brain to determine the next note. This is what my ear hears. So this is called a minor third interval. And we're going to figure out if we want to resolve this interval or let it. And notice the chord changes very fast. Now, sometimes you may need to change your snap to grid, okay, to 1/4 beat and turn on your metronome to get the right timing. And my ear wants to hear D, but a minor third wants to resolve down to a second or fourth, okay? So let's figure out where that would be, which is the minor second here, which sounds cool. So it's important to resolve your intervals because a lot of melodies, they leave open-ended kind of energy and then the melody never responds. And so that's why your melodies sound a little chaotic. There's no resolve. And now you can see dun da 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 is a rhythm. That da 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 da. So the melody repeats itself in rhythm, not necessarily the notes, but the rhythm repeats itself. And now we got to get the timing right. Dun. Now this is a perfect fifth interval. Now this is a great example because let's say this chord kind of rides out. It's like, where do you go from here? Now, what you can do is like a cheap way is simply use an octave of the same note up an octave. And then use the same structure. And now here, this fifth is usually stable. Okay, so I'm taking it back down to a minor third. And then that minor third wants to go down to a second. In this case, we're going to use the fourth instead of the minor third. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 semitones away. Now let's get the timing right. Now this is a 3-bar melody, by the way. I want to keep that to the forefront. So I have a system that guides you through melody, even if you don't know where to go next. It's about intervallic relationships. So I have a course called Music Theory Magic. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory magic. I'll leave a link below so it's easier for you. But you have to understand that chords give melody context and that melody has a destined outcome that it wants to go to. Certain notes want to go to certain other notes. And there's a system behind it. Now, another cool thing you guys can do for your piano is hit shift down to transpose the key. And just hear your stuff in a different key. Sometimes that will inspire notes. Now, another thing you can do is go into your plugins, and not every plugin has this, but let's change the tuning here to 450 instead of 440 hertz. Okay, so let's make this a little more exciting. Again, we tend to forget about rhythm. Rhythm is the key to making stuff sound more upbeat. So let's chop this chord so that it re-triggers. And then my ear wants to hear tune. Okay, my ear wants to hear this note, which is D sharp. Let's see if we have a D sharp in the chord. We do. So let's, instead of adding a new chord, let's just pull this note up an octave. Literally a 3-bar chord. Even though it's 3 bars, you can make that sound really cool. So without the chords, you really don't have context and the emotions are lost. Just doesn't feel the same. Now I'm going to do one more thing here, which is to create humanization in the velocity. So in FL Studio, we have scripts, they're called. And this allows me to make sure that these chords have more of a human vibe. Now it's a velocity offset, but also timing offset. And then let's work our way back up to C sharp by adding this chord in here. Now we don't have to use this chord specifically. We can use a diminished chord. But now it perfectly loops even though it's 3 bars. Let's slow down the BPM because it's pretty fast. So if you want to learn how to make melodies, chord progressions that sound really advanced and give you that emotion, go to busyworksbeats.com/musictheorymagic. I have something for you there. Peace out.